All right, guys, so we're back. We're starting another project, and today is a mulching project, and I'm excited to show you guys this. And I'm gonna try to get some drone footage as well. But I brought out the 333, obviously that's my mulching machine, and then the mulcher and a grapple. But where we're gonna be working, it's a couple hilltops over there, so I gotta track the machine up and over. And this property here, it's actually owned by a fellow veteran, and he bought this property, oh, I don't know when he bought it, but I was out here 2 years ago and I brush hogged all this for him, got it cleaned up. But this property was logged right before he bought it, so you'll see here in a minute when we get over there, this hilltop, it's full of debris. There's stumps everywhere, there's piles of tree tops and just junk wood everywhere. So what my plan is today, I'm just gonna mulch. That way I can get everything opened up, and then tomorrow when I get back out here, I'll throw the grapple on, and we're gonna gather up all the down trees and stumps and stuff like that. Get them in a pile, that way the landowner can just come out and burn them. That's way more efficient than trying to run that mulcher and mulch up all those tops. And man, we got a storm coming in, which I don't mind at all, because look how dry it is out here. If you guys ever run a mulcher, you know working when it's this dry, you can do it, but it is a pain in the butt because you cannot see what you're doing, because this thing, it creates so much darn dust. It's crazy. But so far, I'm really happy with this mulcher. I get a lot of questions on this thing of why I run carbide teeth instead of knives. Well, out here where we live, we're down here at Lake of the Ozarks, Central Missouri. Jefferson City area is kind of the circle we cover. But it's so rocky here. I'm telling you, if you know, you know. I don't know. If I run knives, I would just be sharpening them constantly, because I'll be going along and all of a sudden it'll be white mist coming out of this thing. And what that means to me is I just freaking vaporized a rock. But these teeth are holding up really well. I replaced 3 of them the other day because they were missing part of the tooth. But I spent a whole day mulching the other day and I hit a bunch of rocks, unfortunately. And everything looks good. Anyhow, I'm gonna unload this machine. We'll get to it. I'll show you what we're working on when we get over there. So here's where I'm gonna be working the next 3 days. I got some forestry mulching, I got some grapple work. You can see this property was logged years ago, and look at the mess they left behind. So what my plan is, today, I'm gonna take this rig, which I'm standing on, that way I can give you guys a bird's eye view. I'm gonna take this rig, I'm gonna go in and around all these piles, kind of get everything opened up, get a lay of the land of what we got going on here, because it is thick. And I'm basically gonna be focusing on this hilltop here, and then there's a valley over there. I'm just gonna get as much done as I can in the allotted time. So that's what we agreed on this one. But what I was trying to get at was I'm gonna get everything opened up, kind of get a lay of the land, and tomorrow I'm gonna throw the grapple on, and I'm gonna gather up all these piles, get everything piled up. That way the landowner can burn it, because it'll be a lot quicker and budget friendly to do that than to have me sit here and grind on all these piles forever. Which, honestly, it may go through those pretty quick, but it'll be quicker to just gather them up, pile them, and then forestry mulch all the brush and saplings and stuff like that. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get to it. Not before I get me a snack out of the old big back lunchbox, though. Let's see what we got in here. Packed my lunch this morning. Dang sticker bushes. Look at that. You freaking Satan plant. Dang it, got me again. And I'm ripping my wound open. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use some trail mix. Let's get to it. Let's quit talking about snacks. Man, look at that. We got a storm coming in, which I don't mind, because it is drier than a popcorn fart out here. So dusty, look at that. A little bit of rain will do me some good, so come on, rain. Bring it, let's do it. Alright guys, so it's actually the next day. I ended up spending 6 hours out here yesterday forestry mulching, and I didn't take much video because it was super dusty. I mean, you could barely see anything, and it was very frustrating to work out here yesterday, but I got a little bit done. I opened up a few areas, and then I cut a few paths around the general area that I need to clean up. But look at all this debris. I mean, it is everywhere. This whole area is just full of tops. I mean, all this stuff. So I plan on just spending most of today doing grapple work and getting all this stuff picked up, put in a pile. That way it can be burnt, and then I'll spend some time with the mulcher cleaning everything up afterwards and grinding stumps. But let me see if I can find a stump around here somewhere. One that I've ground on. Ground, is that a word? One that I've ground on, grinded on. That doesn't sound right either. Such a redneck. They're probably all covered up with all this dust. Look at this, crazy dust. It was so bad. Heck, I don't know, they're all over here, but they're covered up in dust. Maybe this is one here. That mulcher doesn't do a bad job. I mean, it gets these stumps all the way to the ground. Yeah, here's one here. I'll probably grind on that a little more, but that thing's already flush to the ground, and you can see how big around it was. But anyway, man, look at this mess. I could sit here and mulch on this stuff, but like I said, it's going to be much quicker just to pick it up, put it in a pile, and burn it. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm going to get to it. I'm not going to do a lot of talking today. I actually forgot my mics up at the truck, so I'm just going to mount this camera to the skid steer, and you guys will see me do a little bit of grapple work. Here's another stump that I ground on a little bit. Got a little more to do on that one. I kind of moved on just because I was trying to get a lay of the land here, but anyway, all right, I'm going to get to it. Couldn't get you, guy. I couldn't get that log up over the camera. And show you guys what we got done out here so far. We're getting there. Oh man, and I cracked my screen protector on my camera. Darn it. I try to set this tripod back up here. I tried to pick that log up over you and hit you anyway, darn it. Oh man, and I cracked my darn screen protector on this camera. That's all right, that's what it's there for. We're getting there. This place is crazy. I got everything cleared up over the hill and all kinds of, I got a lot of piles out here, but we're getting to it. I got about another 2 hours of grapple work to do. I'm gonna get all this cleaned up all through here and get all that moved over into that pile. That way it's not as many burn piles, but let's get back to it. See the struggles I've been having with all these stumps. I'll be tracking along and you can't see these things when you're in the cab and you got all that brush in front of you and you find a stump. That's why I've been going slow, that way I don't hurt my machine or my grapple or anything, but we're getting there. There's just stumps everywhere out here, let me tell you. It's okay, I'll get these get all this cleaned up and then I'm gonna come grind these down with that mulcher. So I'm gonna finish up this grapple work. I got about 2 hours left, and then tomorrow I'll be back out. I'll throw the mulcher on and we'll get all this cleaned up. I think in the next 2 hours I can definitely get this whole area cleaned up, get all that brush picked up, put over there on that pile, and we're getting there. Fun stuff. And it's hot and it's still dry. Look at that. Can't wait to run the mulcher. Not. We've had a few storms overhead. It's been lightning and thundering yesterday and today, and I haven't gotten a drop of rain. Now that's frustrating. So I am on the final stretch of this project. I finished up that whole area over there you were seeing before, and the landowner came in and asked me to move on from that area and come over here and work on this. So that's what I'm doing. He was happy with the finish over there and wanted me to spend the rest of my time opening up this area, so that's what I'm doing. And it is dustier than all get out, let me tell you. You just gotta point and shoot right now. I can't see nothing. Luckily there's nothing but weeds and wood. See these down trees here, getting into those. That's okay though. He told me to be as efficient as I can with the remainder of my time and don't grind any stumps or any of these tops, so I'm trying to go around and just get all the brush. That's what I'm doing. I only got about 2 hours left here. I'll be out of here. On to the next. I got a whole client list of mulching jobs to do. So you can't see nothing out here. Crazy. We need some rain bad. This property is just littered with treetops. You can see it's hard to make any progress without finding any. I think there's a stump right here or something. Yep, there's a stump or something. Oh, see, found it. There it is. That thing's so low, I'm gonna go ahead and grind her down. I've had to get out and blow the filters out of this machine about every 2 hours because it's so dusty. It's crazy. The cool part is my hydraulic temps have not got over 190 at all. This thing runs nice and cool, which is awesome. No external cooler or nothing. The only issues I have is my engine temps creep up over time slowly, but it hasn't prevented me from working. It's just something to keep an eye on. Sometimes they'll get up around 125 and then I'll kind of quit pushing the mulcher as hard and I'll go do some easier mulching and then it'll cool back down. So just being strategic. Dead stuff mulches up really nice. Mulching's like a love-hate relationship. Half the time I hate doing it because this reason right here is you have no idea what you're getting yourself into here. And there's no way, and I know what you guys are gonna say, why don't you get out and walk it? Okay, you're gonna walk this? Covered in chiggers and ticks and scratched up and eaten up by bugs. It would not be a fun time. I went through a little stretch of time where oh, there's a stump. Oh, I didn't realize that went over as far. I went through like a couple day period where I kept hitting fencing on my mulching jobs and it'd wrap up and get all wrapped up in my mulcher, and I put some videos online of that, and people were saying, well, why don't you walk the area with a metal detector? Well, in theory, that's a good idea, but you're really gonna metal detect this nasty terrain? That's not gonna happen. Could you imagine? You can't even get down to the ground with your metal detector with all these weeds. So that's not very practical. Let's look at this guy. Let's see what this thing will do on this. Oh. She's just crumbling. Oh no, I got something stuck in the mulcher. Let's get out and check it out. That doesn't happen very often. Let's see what we got. Most of the time you can set the drum on the ground and roll it backwards and it'll roll itself out. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh yeah, see that right there? You can see that back in there. If I can even get the camera in there. That's what's holding it. So I'll show you what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna set the camera somewhere where you guys can see, hopefully. All right. So usually what I can do is you just take this and you put the drum on the ground. You can roll it backwards sometimes. Did I get it? See? Boom. That easy. Boom, done. All right, well, I was kind of hoping I would see the piece on the ground, but I don't see it. Must still be in the mulcher. That's all right. Check out all these treetops that are just everywhere. Stumps, and treetops, you name it. It is thick. I mulched up a bunch of tops over here, but I'm not trying to get it perfect. This is more or less cover a bunch of ground because it's just hunting property. So the landowner came out and he said he's fine with chunks like that, just cover some ground. So that's what I'm doing. Now the spot over there, I'll take you over there when I'm done. I got that really nice over there. And then he came out here and shut me down and told me to move on. So I'm gonna set you guys down and I'm gonna get back in the machine. right, guys, that's all she wrote. I am done. I'm gonna load up and get out of here. Show you what all I got done here. This is the main area I worked on. I wanted to clean this up a lot more, but the landowner came out and he stopped me. He said it looks good, move on and work on another area. He wanted to get some more areas opened up. He wasn't too worried about these chunks and stuff like that. I ended up, once I was done over here, you can see over there on that little hilltops where I've been working the last few hours, but this was a fun one. Dusty, rocky, dry. Look at this. You guys see me running that mulcher. It's been a heck of a job, and now we got a storm coming in right when I'm done. Seems like about my luck. But look at all these piles. I got one there, one there. There's one way back there, there. This was a mess. Let's walk back here. I want to show you one thing real quick, and then I'm gonna load up and get out of here. There's a pretty good sized tree back here I picked up with that grapple. Get back in here and check it out. But I've got my work cut out for me. I'm going right to another mulching job from this one. This one's right now I'm down in Gravois Mills down at Lake of the Ozarks, and tomorrow I'm headed north up to Holt Summit. We cover basically about an hour to an hour and a half radius of our house, and we live right in between Jefferson City and Lake of the Ozarks, so it works out great because we got two markets that we work for, so we stay plenty busy. This mulching, it's like a love-hate relationship. It's very rewarding because you get to see the work progress right in front of you, but it's so hard on equipment. Man, I tell you, I have to get out, especially with it being this dusty, I have to get out, blow out the filters about every 2 hours, and my cabin air filters, they're so clogged up right now, my AC's barely blowing. The fan's working, she's working hard, but this ain't moving no air. And I've blown those filters out several times, but this is what I wanted to show you. Look at this monster of a log. That 333 picked it up, no problem. Didn't even grunt. Now, it is dry, so I'll give you that. It's not a fresh green log that was cut down, so it's probably a little lighter than it normally would be, but I was quite shocked. It was like it wasn't even on that grapple. I know we also have a 325G, and it probably wouldn't pick that up. It might get it up off the ground, but I wouldn't be able to pick it up very high, that's for sure. But anyhow, that's all I got. I'm out of here. I'm whipped. I'm about half sweaty because, like I said, my air conditioner fan's not working too good in there. So I'm gonna load up and get out of here. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you sticking around watching my videos. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If I can talk, and I got freaking flies getting me. Subscribe to the channel, and thanks guys. We'll catch you on the next one.